What was a time when you used a Shrek's move you saw in a Pinot in real life and it ended horribly? Hi Reddit guys, subscribe now, or I will jump out of a plane. I tried to pull off a standing 69. I dropped my pool girlfriend on her head. The Olay tombstone pillar driver. Right? More like dropped his girlfriend 16 FT through an announcer's table. By God. She is broken in half. First time I came in a girl's mouth, she spit it out in her hand and threw it at me in surprise. It was her first time giving a blowjob. She spit on your ass. Think fast thwip. Do not frick a girl up against the glass wall in the shower, especially not in a rented apartment. That wall is expensive. Holy cow. Were either of you hurt? Aside from some bruises, only my wallet was hurt. We rented an apartment in Warsaw to stay for the weekend to have lots of Shreks as I visited her. She's a student at the university down there. The owner was not happy about it for sure. Yes. The old Polish shower Shreks move. Lots of fricking, but none of it pleasant, followed by war reparations. My girlfriend at the time was giving me a BJ while I was standing up, and I thought I'd return the favor by picking her up and spinning her upside down for a standing 69. She got freaked out about being picked up, farted, which made me gag, and I ended up giving her a tombstone in the living room of my first apartment. She kinked her neck and hit her foot on the edge of my coffee table while the forward momentum of the drop caused me to slowly fall on top of her, bending my dong on her stomach. That emergency room visit wasn't a fun one, and the doc couldn't stifle his laughter during our explanation. This is like the 5th wrestling reference I've seen in this thread. I like it. Undertaker would be proud. Decided to give daring outside Shreks a go. Drove down a country road and pulled over. Started going at it with my ass hanging off the hood of the car. We hear a car approaching and my partner panics and drops me on my ass. Flat on my bare ass in the dirt as a car comes along while he stands there all nonchalant. Thanks honey. I thought I'd try DP, but then the one guy started sucking the other guy's dong, so it never happened. I won't be exploring that any further. Well, that ended up a disappointment. Not for the guys. Picked girlfriend up, put her on the dining room table to frick. Ended up breaking table. Blamed it on the dog. Fun times. How big was the dog? Not too big. Just said girlfriend tripped over him on way in getting from the beach. Your dog broke the table by fricking your girlfriend on it? Put that on the list of reasons to not frick a dog. I'm 4'11" and my husband is 6'2". We tried to frick standing up, leaning on nothing in particular, when he hoisted me into the air and then lost his grip. The man dropped me to the floor like a sack of potatoes. Your username for some reason makes this 10x funnier. I was once trying to do some rough play with my current, so things heated up in the living room and escalated to me picking her up and carrying her to my bedroom. Once there, in an attempt to manhandle her and show off strength, I chunked her onto the bed like a brute, which banged the frick out of her tailbone and resulted in her crying for 10 minutes. The Shreks did not continue. We were on the bed and I tried to pick her up and frick her against the wall while standing on the bed. I didn't know her bed was on wheels. Bed slides out and we go into the gap. My forehead breaks her nose and splits her lip. You still finished though, right? You know, cause you're not a quitter. I put my thumb in a girl's mouth cause I saw Dr. Manhattan do it. My finger is not like kissing a battery, and I don't have bangin' blue muscles. Was a mistake. I clock slapped the girl's lips and she started laughing. I don't know how to take that. I would do the same. It's not Shreksy at all and feels pretty damn weird. I was a virgin making out with a girl in bed one night. I didn't know how to ask if she wanted to have Shreks, so I asked one a root. She pissed herself laughing and she made me wait another month to finally lose my virginity. The Australian has been spotted. I repeat, the Australian has been spotted. Guilty. As a fellow Australian, I can tell you that one a frick had worked for me once or twice. was getting Shrexy against a wall and tried to pick her up by grabbing the back of her thighs and lifting. She just slid down the wall and landed bare ass on the floor. One of my smoother moves. Smoothest Shrex to oral transition ever. Tried to last an hour. Didn't last an hour. Just wait for daylight saving time. I asked my wife to call me Poppy during Shrex and forgot about the request. A few days later she yelled out, "Oh Papi." I stopped my fantastic moves and looked her in the eye and said, "Who the hell is Bobby? That boy ain't right." Not me, but my roommate. He and his girlfriend tried something while standing up. Heard a primal scream. She runs out naked screaming for us to help. Ran in, and his dong was broken. I cannot explain what I saw. A peanuts pointing entirely in the wrong direction, looking blue and red. He was in agony, but could not touch it. We called ambulance. It was pretty serious, we heard later. He had to stay in the hospital a couple days. To this day we don't know what they were trying. Does it still work? If I remember, he spent 2 or 3 days in hospital. Had to keep ice on it to keep swelling down. It was really a serious issue according to him. Blood kept pumping in. I think it still functions, but I have not seen it since then, so you need to go take a look, you know, for science and shoot. Dude, mind if I take a picture of your dong? Some people on the internet were asking, because I told that story you said never to tell anyone, because it was embarrassing. Not seen in a Pinot, but in a chat room while I was in college, I was talking to a woman online. She was going on and on about how her husband used to hold cough drop on her while going down on her and she loved it. So I tried it on my girlfriend, now wife. It's been almost 20 years, and the image of her holding her crotch, jumping around and yelling it burns. It burns remains seared in my memory. You got trolled, sir. How could anyone think that's a good idea? Goddamn Cosmo articles again. Rub icy hot on his balls and enjoy the added enthusiasm while you ride him like a bucking bronco. When I was a teenager, the guy kept sticking his finger in me then into my mouth. It was annoying and I asked him to stop multiple times. He wouldn't, so I figured I would do this thing I saw on Winamp Pino stream. I snowballed him. He really wasn't about that life, ended up vomiting off the side of the bed. He never did the finger thing again and we broke up a few months after. I laid my wife on the edge of the bed with her head hanging off and tried to face frick her. She wasn't having it. Did you talk about it beforehand? It's a good way to get deeper, but not unexpectedly and not if they dislike rough oral to start with. I once used a numbing condom without realizing it. She finished and I wasn't even close, freaking weird. She removed the condom and started sucking me off. After a couple minutes she attempted to articulate that her mouth was fearing funny. We checked the box and laughed for days. How did you just spit on my pussy? Me. Yeah, her. Well, that just killed the mood. I'm gonna leave now. I had a female friend tell me women were just as nasty as men. I explained that if I was receiving a blowjob and the girl spit on my dong, I'd find it hot. If I was eating a girl out and spit on her pee-pee, things would be over. She responded with, "Well, that's just gross." I accepted that as concession. Clock slapped her in the face. All the tears. Who was the one crying though? Both of them. As was their custom. I tried to frick the pizza delivery guy. Needless to say, I didn't even get the pizza. Older lady in wealthier neighborhood would request me by name, 19-year college student at the time, and answer the door in a silk sheer bathrobe and no pants. Finally, on the 4th visit or so, she propositioned me and I wanted to turn her down nicely, because great tip money. So I said, wouldn't your husband be upset? And she goes, "No sweetie, he wants to watch Nope the hell out of there." We started sending our greasiest 30-year land blob to that house and then they stopped ordering entirely. I think they got the hint. Was she attractive? The real question. Anyone can get laid if their standards are low enough. In college my ex was riding me sitting with her legs wrapped around me. I picked her up and pushed her up against the wall, and put her halfway through the flimsy drywall back first. We finished though, because I ain't no quitter. I don't think that defines us ended horribly. Honestly, it's a conversation starter. I hooked up with a tripper while I was in college. We played a game where I would grab some food and do something Shreksy with it. She was blindfolded and would have to guess what the food was. Since I was in college, I didn't have much in the pantry, so I grabbed a pickle and fricked her with it. She orgasmed, and then when she took her blindfold off and found out it was a pickle, she freaked out. Something about fricking her with a half-sour kosher pickle grossed her out. The idea of brine in my pee-pee is kinda disconcerting, I have to say. I'm not sure why. Shoot's not osmotically balanced. I get you. Food near the genitals is really bad and can cause problems. Older me knows better. Eating sushi off someone's chest, yes. Pickle in the pee-pee? No. 2008. Had a girlfriend who was much younger than me. One day she was going down on me when I suggested that we try 69. She's never heard of 69 before. I had to stop her from what she was doing, explain to her what it was, and after seeing her horrified reaction, she almost started crying. She was so upset. I not just gave up on the idea, but she became really reticent to have Shreks with me much more after that, as she wasn't into kinky Shreks. Then she discovered Twilight and we stopped being physical altogether. Then we broke up. Before I suggested 69, she was all over me. As soon as I suggested it, it was like I'd told her that I'd kill her family if she touched my peanuts ever again. Hopefully she has had a few more years to live and experience things and still doesn't view 69 as kinky. It isn't. I mean, there's 69 in peeing, but it's not like I was asking her to do a bareback anal gangbang or anything. Whoa. So was she okay with you going down on her as well as her going down on you? 69 is a very small step from there. It's actually more of a careful rotation maneuver. Okay Reddit guys, subscribe now, or I will jump out off a plane.